If you are involved in some real estate transactions, you may have heard the word estoppel. In this video, we'll be diving into a little bit more about what that means, especially if you are in a small multifamily transaction or dealing with any sort of tenants. These are important things to know, and we'll dive right into it. The definition of an estoppel is a legal concept that refers to a written statement provided by a tenant during a real estate transaction. It outlines crucial details about the lease agreement, including the tenant's rights, responsibilities, and any other pertinent information. Now, estoppels are not required. They are a voluntary thing that a tenant can fill out, and during the transaction, you can't, as a buyer, force the tenant to fill all this out. However, it is in their best interest to have this filled out, so that way, if there are any unwritten rules or expectations, those are things that can be brought to light sooner rather than later and help protect them and understand that this is what is a part of the agreement. So if they have, for example, an agreement with the owner that is unwritten and says, hey, we will do all of the lawn maintenance. However, in the lease agreement, that's not true. That is something to bring up and to look a little bit further into. Now, with this, the estoppel usually contains the list of the following: names of all the tenants and occupants in the unit, a lease term and both start and end dates, rental payment amount and due dates, security deposit, who pays the utilities, who owns the appliances, if there are any pets, if there are any problems or repairs needed, if there are any other agreements with the landlord. And now with this, we'll be diving into the pros and cons of an estoppel. Now, when it comes to pros of the estoppel, the huge benefit for this is to basically state any unwritten rules, and this is a great way to potentially eliminate disputes in the future. And also, when you, for example, give this to a tenant and you are the prospective buyer, that is a great opportunity for them to explain any of these unwritten rules, and then also provides another line of defense if they come back and say X, Y, and Z was a previous thing that we used to agree upon with the previous owner. Now, this is a great way for you to protect yourself as a buyer and make sure that you are moving forward with also understanding what the tenant's expectations are. Now, some possible cons of an estoppel is the fact that it's voluntary. For a tenant, they may not want to fill it out or may fill it out after the inspection period. So just keep that in mind and note that you may find that there's some unfavorable terms in there. So keeping that in mind moving forward, it's still a great way for you to protect yourself. But in general, just know that it's not always a foolproof method. Now, if you have dealt with estoppels in the past, I'd love to hear your comments down below and how the experience went for you, and if you have any other tips of your own. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you found any more of this content helpful, it would be wonderful if you could share this as well. Thank you so much for watching.